I just want to say I'm happy to be here and to starting this project. I think now is the time more than ever for us to really find ways to build wealth within our communities for ourselves. And something that I'm extremely passionate about, probably the only thing I've ever done in my life that um, still brings me joy every single day. I don't have children, so let me preface that. But um, is buying and owning a home. So that's always been a passion of mine. It's always been a goal of mine. But I think a lot of times we look at buying a home as such a momentous and almost like a struggle. And the point of why I'm here is to demystify the home buying process. So when I was buying, I was lucky enough to have friends and resources and parents who could help me walk through the process. But I think with a lot of us, it's like, where do I start? What's the timeline? How much money do I need? And that's another issue. I think we don't talk about how much money people are putting down and things like that. So what I want to do is create a channel that's called Simply Buying a Home to make it the simple process that I experience. Granted, everyone's situation is different, and I'll talk in depth about what my credit score was, how much money I had. I will do all those things because we think that you need, even I thought, oh, I need to get my credit repaired. My credit was I think it was like a 670 at the time, which isn't horrible, but I was thinking, oh, it needs to be this, or I have to get this thing off my credit. And that's not the case. Most of these programs, you only need a 580. So I want to talk specific numbers, specific processes, and I also want to keep all these videos to 15 minutes or less. The way my brain works, you start seeing 30 and 45 minutes, and it's just like, are we back in school? Like, am I in school? Like, so the point is I just want to make this process easy and simple. So my plan is to have different episodes, all starting out with the simply, because that's what we're trying to do here, make this process as simple as it and condensed as it can be. So simply understanding the grant process, simply finding a lender, simply understanding the timeline, simply negotiating, simply finding the correct home. There are a lot of different aspects to the buying process, and I think we need a voice that makes it simple. There we go. So just to start, this is just like kind of the intro / teaser. I'm just trying to see how this looks and what this could be, so it could change, but and I'm open to feedback or comments if you guys are listening and watching. So just to start out, I just want to talk about what I've done to relay how we're here. So I was living in New York from 2011 to 2018, and I really wanted to buy in New York, and then I quickly realized that was close to impossible. With down payments, with the amount of homes just being exorbitant, I just was like, this is looking a little, I love a challenge, but this is looking a little, you need to be a millionaire. And that I was not. So when I started the goal of buying a house, I probably had 2,000 to 3,000 in my account. So what I did was, another topic I want to discuss is how to simply save for the home buying process. Because I did not go to close with 2,000 to 3,000, because I probably would have been close to denied. But so it started out with like 2 to 3 grand, and I decided that I was going to move back to Baltimore to buy a house. So what I didn't know at the time was that you could literally be paid to buy your house, which is what I ended up doing. I received a grant for $5,000. It could have been $10,000 had I known what I know now. So that's also the point of being here today, is because we don't know what we don't know. And so I received a grant for $5,000. So by the time so the whole process for me probably only took 2 to 3 months. I'm talking from the start of me looking at homes to the start of me living in the home. every process is different. That goes with everything I'm saying here, but that does not include me saving up. So I saved for probably about I'd say like 5 months, 5 to 6 months of like true saving. And it wasn't even intentional. It was kind of the way life had panned out. But so I saved for about 6 months, and the process was only 2 to 3 months. So when I went to closing, I probably spent under $6,000. So I spent under 6 grand to close on the house. That's including everything. So I saw something on Twitter the other day, and someone was making the pitch of why you should rent versus own, and someone came back and they're like, that doesn't include your taxes and your insurance. And it's just like, that's just wrong information. We got to stop with the lie. And it's not that this person was trying to tell a lie, but it's like, let's talk on things we know of. So taxes, your insurance, that's all rolled into your mortgage. But let me get back to what I was saying. So the $6,000 of closing costs, that covers everything. That even covers typically like a month and a half. So let's say of mortgage. So let's say I closed on, let's say mid-June. I didn't have to pay my next mortgage until September because that was included in my closing costs. Another thing that's included in your closing costs is any realtor fees, any taxes, any insurance, any appraisals, any home inspections. All that has already been bundled and wrapped up into that $6,000. So, and then not only that, I also want to talk mortgage numbers. So my mortgage right now, I refinanced, but my mortgage right now is $1,260. When I lived in New York, my rent was $1,100. When I lived in New York, it was a 2-bedroom apartment. So I had a roommate, and the full rent was $22. But here I have 4 bedrooms. I have a yard. I have just space. I have laundry. I have 2 full bathrooms. And my house was, renovated probably a few months before I moved in. And again, I was kind of paid to live here. So I think a lot, and especially for, I have so many friends in New York. And for all my New York friends, I also want to do a separate kind of episode about like simply buying in your hometown. So buying a property in your own hometown and having a company manage it, that's completely doable. But there are so many benefits to owning a home. So again, I paid $1,260. If I were to I have a whole bedroom and full situation in the basement. If I were to get a tenant and charge them $600, I'd be paying $600. That's if I were really smart. Now, I'm coming from New York. I need space right now, so I'm doing what I'm doing. But there are so many ways for us to increase our wealth. Even this past winter, I refinanced. I basically got a check from them for $3,000. And not only that, I didn't have to pay my mortgage for 2 months. So again, it's so many ways to make money once you own a house, but we just have to get that seat at the table to own the house. And that's what I'm here to hopefully do for y'all. So again, this is the first one. Again, these are going to be brief. I welcome any comments or suggestions on what you think people want to hear, but I know for myself, I know what I needed to know and what I didn't know. So I have a good idea and framework, but I'm happy for any suggestions. And then again, this is kind of like a rollout. I have my own development company. I have a full-time job, and I have a full-time job as a director with a nonprofit. So this is going to be a rollout. I'm planning to do once a week. But this is about information. So if anybody has any urgent, hey, I'm doing this, can I call you? Call me. This isn't about like, oh, wait till week 5 when I'm covering episode. No, this isn't that. So I just want to be a resource right now. But more importantly, I want to get people to own, especially if you live in Baltimore. There are reasons why you shouldn't be a homeowner including, you know, pass and, you know, credit, fixing things. But a lot of us are spending more money that we would in rent than we are in owning. So it's just a no-brainer to me. If you're able to have a mortgage of eight, and let me say this too. I only put 3.5% down. I did not put 20% down, which is what like old timers do. I only put 3.5% of the house, which means I have something called P&I, which means the bank is charging me a little bit more money. But in 8 years, that P&I rolls off and my mortgage will probably go down to about 800. So, and the thing is, we think of mortgages, we think of everything, and it's like 8 years, 30 years. We're going to be living through this regardless. Why not have something, well, God willing, we're going to be living regardless. So why not have something that you're able to turn your basic requirement of living into a financial opportunity? Because that's what all our counterparts are doing. That's what white men have been leveraging real estate for years. Look at our president. I don't even want to call him that. Look at that orange monster that lives, well, now at Black Lives Matter way, but look at that orange monster. And I'm not saying for us to be like him, but what I am saying is it's clear that real estate gets people to power. We have to find those outlets. We have to seek it. We have to own. So, yeah, that's my kind of spiel for today. And I'm looking forward to doing this some more. Thanks. Hi, guys.